Alrighty, guys, we will talk about Tron Ares, the latest blockbuster film to be coming out. We'll talk about that later on in the podcast, but it got me thinking, well, September and really, honestly, August, September, and October have been really slow in terms of movies. Sure, we've gotten some great television shows like we've been talking about Peacemaker Season 2, for example, recently, Gen V Season 2, and The Paper came out. So some good TV shows, but really it's been slow. And it often is, right? Often May, June, and July are so heavy. We had a stretch there where we were going F1, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. We had Jurassic World. We had How to Train Your Dragon, F1. I already said F1. Superman, Fantastic Four. So we had a ton of great movies to talk about. And then it's been quiet. But, as we head into October, as we are in the middle of October, Tron Ares came out about a week ago as you're listening to this podcast episode, or maybe a couple days ago. There's still a lot to look forward to. I have a list. I create a list at the beginning of the year and update it as movies and release dates are finalized. And according to my list here, there are 10 movies and shows still to come out in 2025 that I am very, very excited about. So let's count them down. Let's count down the 10, and we're going in release order here. Actually 9, including Tron Ares. I forgot to mention that Tron Ares is at the top of the list, and we'll talk about that. But still, 9 major releases that are coming out over the next couple months. So let's preview what's to come in the rest of 2025. Just for some context here, though, there are going to be movies that are not on this list that are going to probably be amongst my favorites for 2025. And that's because a lot of those movies are smaller. They're Oscar movies. Those are movies that I'm going to wait until word of mouth, that people are saying, this is an Oscar contender. You got to go see this movie. And what we did last year is a lot of those movies we actually saw at the beginning of the year. So a lot of the Oscar contenders for 2024, we actually watched at the beginning of the year. Movies like The Substance, movies like The Brutalist, for example. Some of those movies I was able to catch, like Conclave, at the end of 2024, and I was very glad I did. I loved Conclave. It made it to my top 10 of 2024. But some movies that are going to make my top list of 2025 just aren't on this list because, well, it's Access Blockbusters, and we're here to talk about some of the bigger movies and TV shows, even though I do love all kinds of great content. So let's count them down. Let's start here, chronological release order. October 10th, we just talked about Tron Ares, and we will talk about the movie at the end of this podcast episode. Then, October 26th, Welcome to Derry, a TV show that, look, I'm not a big fan of horror, but here we are. I'm excited for Welcome to Derry. I've done plenty of discussions on the trailers, and you can go listen to those segments where I talk about why I'm excited for this show. I think it's going to be good. We'll have to see, but I have all the faith in the world that it's going to be good. Then in November, I don't believe it has a release date yet because it's coming out on Netflix, actually, but Frankenstein from Guillermo del Toro, starring Oscar Isaac, Mia Goth, and Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein's monster. This movie, I wasn't able to do a segment on the most recent trailer that came out a couple weeks ago, but it looks like one of the better adaptations of of a classic book that I've ever seen. It just has the feel. Guillermo del Toro is a great feel kind of director where he's able to take and capture the atmosphere of it all. I'm just so excited to see what he's able to do with Frankenstein. I think it's going to be great. Then, November 21st, one of my most anticipated movies, if not my most anticipated movie of the rest of 2025, Wicked for Good, Wicked Part 2. What else is there to say about Wicked Part 2? I'm just beyond thrilled to really be I was just experiencing the second part of this just a year after the first one. It's crazy because the first one came out and I hadn't seen the stage music or anything, but I was excited because people were excited, good word of mouth, and it came out and I was just blown away. Absolutely blown away. So Wicked for Good, November 21st. November 26th is Zootopia 2, the billion-dollar animated film that came out a few years ago at this point, many years ago, is finally getting a sequel. I'm very curious to see how it's going to follow up on the success of the first one and whether or not this one's going to hit $1 billion or whether or not, it'll still be good, but it may not be the smash success that the first one was. We'll have to see about that. Then, Volume 1 of Stranger Things Season 5, November 26th, and it will be releasing throughout the year, November 26th being the first volume of Stranger Things Season 5, and then I think Christmas and New Year's will be the second volume and the finale, respectively. So very, very, very excited about what Stranger Things Season 5. I mean, this is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's finally wrapping up. I am so, so excited. December 5th, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I would be lying if I didn't tell you that I was at least curious about what this movie was going to be like. I personally have not loved the trailers, and I've heard it in the comments. And guys, it's just my opinion. You guys can love the trailer. It's totally fine. Does not invalidate you liking the trailers. I'm just curious. I'm very curious to see what this series or what this movie is going to turn into. I said series because, speaking of series, next project up is Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters, coming out on December 10th. And Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief, the first season, it was one of those pleasant surprises where I just wasn't expecting a whole lot from this adaptation. I loved the Percy Jackson books growing up, and I just, after seeing the Logan Lerman movies, which I wasn't a big fan of at all. After seeing the first season, though, of what Scoble, I think, Walker Scoble, I think is his name, the actor who plays Percy Jackson, I loved the first season. It was so good. It was such a return to the childhood feeling of reading those books, and I'm really, really excited for season 2. And season 3 already greenlit with Daphne Keane joining as Athena. That's great casting. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. December 12th, and actually I should move this up earlier because I'm hoping to see it earlier, is Wake Up Dead Man, officially coming to Netflix on December 12th, but has a theatrical run earlier on in November. This has to be up there, the top 2 or 3 most anticipated projects for the rest of 2025. I loved Knives Out. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. I liked I liked Glass Onion, that's what it's called, a lot, the sequel to Knives Out, and the third film's coming out. Sign me up. Super excited. And finally, December 19th, 2025, Avatar, Fire and Ash. I actually may not be able to watch this movie until after 2025, which kind of sucks. I'll be traveling most of the end of the year, but still very excited for this movie. Cannot wait to see it in the biggest screen, the biggest format possible once I get back. And yeah, we'll have to get those tickets and get ready for that because it's gonna be really, really exciting. Really, really, really exciting. So guys, those are my picks for, or not my picks, but rather the 10 projects, I guess, including Tron Ares, to look forward to at the end of 2025. It is going to be a packed year. It's going to be crazy. I am so excited. I mean, again, October, it's all kind of slow right now, but once we hit November, once we hit the end of the year, it's just going to be nonstop, and I can't wait. I am really, really excited. Are there projects, guys, that you think I missed, and are there projects amongst this list that you are particularly excited for? Let me know in the comments down below.